Hi guys, it's Mrs. C here with Cycle 1, Week 8. I almost said Cycle 3. Week 8, but I have not actually done this week's material. I will be out next week, so I am kind of doing this early so my sub can see my plans and also so I can get this out and not have to worry about it while I'm out. So we will jump right into week 8. Also week 8, you are 1/3 of the way through your year. Congratulations. So I usually start with geography, and geography this week, I am gonna tell a little story. I did this with, if you have been watching the Obesitarian videos, this is what I did for the Obesitarians, but I think it's helpful for the older ones when you can kind of connect things. So we're gonna start in the Bay of Bengal, and they're going to swim around the tip of India, and we're going to swim into the Arabian Sea, and then we're going to be tired of swimming, so we're going to get out into the Great Indian Desert, and we're going to dry off in the Indian Desert, and we're going to travel. We really want to see the beautiful Himalayas that we can see in the distance. We want to try to go see those. So we're going to travel across the Great Indian Desert until we reach the Ganges River, and we're going to paddle in a canoe across the Ganges River into the Himalayas. We're going to climb up to the top, take a good look around, and then we're going to go back down the Himalayas, back across the Ganges River, through the Great Indian Desert, and now we're really hot and ready for a swim, so we're gonna get back into the Arabian Sea, swim all the way around the tip of India and back into the Bay of Bengal. So I feel like that is the easiest way to kind of connect all of those for them. You can obviously do it any way that you want to, but that's just kind of the story that I made the last time, and it has stuck with me, so I planned on using that again this time. So when you go back through them, you can ask them, you know, what was the desert that we went through? What mountains were we trying to see? You can ask them questions to get them to kind of say back to you the location. So that is geography. For math, I'm giving my sub the option of doing Yahtzee, which is where you give one student the dice. They roll it and try to get all of the dice to whatever number they choose. So they try to get all 2s or all 4s, and while the rest of the students are reciting the math facts. So since we only have one math fact this week, it'll be a little more difficult to do that. If they are a little more subdued, I am also putting in my math fact wheels. So the way these work is we would write the number for this week is 14, so we write 14 in here, and then they go around and write the math facts. So then we go around and say 14 times 0 is 0, 14 times 1 is 14. So we go around and then we use this to say them. So they're writing them in and then saying them. And I feel like this sinks into their memory a little bit better writing it out. I know it does mine. So that will be math. For prepositions, I'm suggesting that she do the floor is lava. And I kind of made this up a few weeks ago, and then it ended up being really fun. So my students are trying to say the entire preposition list, and so we've been reviewing it every week. So I do take a minute to go over the specific ones for the week, but then we just do the entire preposition list. So the way that we did kind of the floor is lava is I had them push the tables out of the way and then kind of push their chairs back, and we just used the chairs to be up on, not the tables, although some of them really wanted to be. And if you have the ability to use tables or something else in your class, that's awesome, but we just were using the chairs. So I printed this list out. Again, it's on page 64 of your guide. It is the proof sheet. So we review what a preposition is, and then what I did is just on one of these, I took it for myself and I went through and marked 4 or 5 of the prepositions on this. So we started reciting, and let's say that I had marked a top. So we would go through about, above, across, after, against, along, amid, among, around, at, a top. And when I said a top, they all had to run and switch and get on a different chair, and they had like 10 seconds to get up onto a new chair, and I would start going again. When we hit the next one, they had to go and switch another chair. I don't really know why I call it floor is lava, other than they just weren't allowed to be up on, or be on the floor. They had to be up on something. So so you go through the whole list. When you hit your few, they get up and run, and then I just wiped it off and marked a few different ones for the next time, and we did it again. So that's what we're gonna do for English this week. For Latin, it's our second week of having the 3rd declension noun ending, so I'm gonna let them play hot potato, I just have these little squishy footballs that I use for orchestra for the littles, but they're nice in class because they're soft, because sometimes they like to chuck them at each other. So basically all you do is just go around and pass it around, and I do have a rule that you cannot throw it. Sometimes they follow it, sometimes they don't, but just go around and pass it around in a circle. So you just pass it and sing various E's, E, M, A, and go around, and then whoever ends on, I don't know, make them do jumping jacks or something like that. Or if they are all have a lot of energy, then I just make them all do jumping jacks by the time we get to the end of it, and passing the football around is just something to do while we recite it. So again, with Latin, when you are singing the chant or chanting the song, you are saying it multiple times. So you don't have to do the chant 7 times because you are saying it already multiple times in the chant. So just remember that if you are running short on time. For science, I'm doing just something really simple. Again, this is what I did with the younger ones, but this is a really simple week. So monocot, we're gonna just do 1. Dicot is 2, because di means 2. And conifer, we're gonna make a little Christmas tree shape because that's the type of trees that Christmas trees are. So monocot, dicot, conifer. That's what we'll do for science. It'll probably not take very long. I find with older kids, sometimes some subjects take a little bit longer than other ones, and sometimes they don't take any time at all. So that one will be an easy one. Then we have the timeline. So for timeline, I'm sending my cards, and I was just gonna have her let them kind of mix them up and put them in order. Excuse me. I thought about doing, which I might try this next week, but just to throw an idea out there, I don't know if you guys have ever seen where you have 2 people and one person puts their hands behind their back and then the other person puts their arms kind of through the holes that are made by putting their hands behind the back. So one person is kind of the head and the eyes, and the other person is the hands. And I thought it might be fun to do that with the group, and have the one person trying to tell the other person how to put the timeline cards in order. So I don't know if that would work well, and it might take up a lot of time. So I don't know if like everybody would get a chance to do it, and some of them may not want to do it, but I'm gonna just throw that idea out there. Again, I may try that next week and see if they love it or if they hate it, and I'll let you know. Or if you try it before I do, you can let me know if it went over well. But I thought it would be a fun way, because they're pretty fast at putting in order, especially because they've gotten smart and realized that the numbers are on the back. So anyway, bunch of punks. For history, we have these coloring pages that we are coloring for the front of our science and art folders. Our campus keeps track of everybody's science and art for the whole year, and I just have not been good about letting them color. And you know, little kids, when they color, it's like 5 seconds of scribbling and then they're done. But my older kids actually were putting a lot of work and detail into it, so we haven't made a ton of progress on that. So I thought, since I was having a sub and I was trying to be nice to her, that for history, especially since it's kind of a slower song, that we could just play that a few times and give them a chance just to color on their pages. I would probably do history last, so that if it bled over into our art time a little bit, which is tin whistle this week, but it bled over into our art time, we would be okay there. So anyway, I think that's everything. Yes. So that was my plan for this week. I hope that's helpful to you guys. I will be back for week 9 and actually have done it, so I can give you a better feedback on what worked and what didn't. But anyway, oh, I will say this is my favorite week for tin whistle. I'm really sad that I won't be there to do it because it's Dynamics week and it's so much fun. And if you haven't used it before, think about using the song John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt for tin whistle for the dynamics. It has all the dynamics in there. It's really fun to write them out on the board and kind of point to them as you're doing the dynamics in the song. And I just find that rather than doing a song and doing random dynamics to it, that having the song and knowing where you're going with them and pointing to it is helpful. You also have crescendos and decrescendos, which are really nice. So anyway, just throwing that out there for you guys. Hope you have an awesome weekend, because it's Friday, well, almost Saturday here. And I will see you guys back in a week or so with week 9. Thanks guys, bye.